This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms for women entrepreneurs to be seen and heard. This platform is for women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. These are the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they want to build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast and Shine On You Crazy Daisy book volume 2. And today I am introducing you to Maddy Alexander-Grout from My VIP Rewards. Maddy, I'm so grateful for you being involved in this. Please talk about your business.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. So My VIP Rewards is a multi-award winning money saving app that helps people to connect with their community while saving money at the same time. We're an employee and member benefit, and we help companies to look after their employees, their members, their customers, whilst ticking their corporate social responsibility box.
Wow, I love hearing you introduce that. I've seen it grow so much over the years. We'll get into that. How do you think your start with money helped you to run a successful business?
Well, I was absolutely awful with money. I grew up with a horrendous fear of it. I didn't like dealing with it. I didn't like making it. I didn't like saving it. And all of those things combined have brought me on this massive journey. And now I love saving money. I love spending money. I love making money. And none of that would have happened if I hadn't have had the rough, bumpy start that I did. It's really made me focus. It's made me budget. And I don't buy anything now unless I can save money on it.
Because you got into quite a lot of debt a couple of times from just, was that a fact of not thinking things through or deliberately putting your head in the sand?
A bit of both, I think. I think it was more not thinking. When I first went to uni. I had this like magical pot of mystical money, which was actually credit cards and loans, which wasn't real money, and I just didn't get it. I didn't have financial education, so now I'm trying to make everybody as aware as possible of the pitfalls of getting into debt. And I've now got a 999 credit rating after years and years and years of not being able to get credit, not being able to buy to buy a house, all of those kind of things. So it was a really, really bumpy journey, and I think I did stick my head in the sand massively. Debt collectors' letters, bailiffs. I mean, it was scary. It was a really scary time, but it's taught me everything I know. So I think everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely. And I remember, I love talking about money for women entrepreneurs because it's something that feels forbidden, that we're not to talk about, or taboo. I know, but I remember my mum must have done a throwaway comment when I was a kid of credit cards are free money. So when I left home, I thought credit cards were free money. So I got into a horrendous state of affairs that I didn't understand.
I think parents really, really need to educate their children when they go off to university, because I know that my lack of education, I mean, my mum really tried, bless her, she really did, but I wasn't prepared to listen. And I think there needs to be consequences for people who go and get themselves into debt. It's a really, really tough thing, but I think the more people who actually openly talk about money and openly talk about relationships with money, I think the better. Money mindset is something that can really block people, especially in business. I've had it several times during my business, and I've actually had timeline therapy now to get rid of my money blocks. And money pours in when you manifest, when you get rid of it. It really helps.
I love you talking about that. And actually that feeling of the change in the way that you're thinking, or the realization of what that journey is, I think does help you to run a much more successful business, because you've worked through these things, you've looked at the mindset behind it, you know what's right and wrong for you.
You wouldn't go on to Dragon's Den and not know your figures, would you? So getting to know your figures will help you to get to know your business, and it will help you to grow.
Businesswoman, I love it. But to change the subject completely, Maddy, and this is a lot of your chapter was about when you had kids, and in reading your chapter, I thought, how do I approach this? Because I've got no idea about it. So I just thought I would put it back on you and say, how do we talk about postnatal psychosis, which I'd never heard of. And
It's
did
a
anyone
yeah.
talk about it?
Well, this is the thing. I think unless you've had it, you've been through it, or you know somebody who's had it, it's a really tough thing to talk about, because there are so many different variations, so many different levels. I mean, postnatal psychosis, or postpartum psychosis, as it's sometimes called, can lead to you killing your children. It is horrible. It is a very, very debilitating thing. I've actually recently found out that I have a disease called Hashimoto's, and actually that's one of the things that can cause it. So I think I've had it for quite some time. But the postpartum psychosis that I had, I mean, it started off with me just feeling like I wasn't connecting with my child. I wasn't enjoying being a mum. I was really sleep deprived, and then I started to get visions and hallucinations, and I imagined myself throwing him down the stairs, or throwing him in front of a bus, or throwing myself in front of a bus. And it was really horrific, really bad. And I told my mum, and she said, right, you need to get to therapy right this second. She booked me in, and I went to see somebody the very same day. And I started to get hypnotherapy, I got counselling, and I was never admitted, but I probably should have been. It's a hard thing to talk about. Nobody wants to admit to anybody that they've had thoughts of killing their own children. But it's part of who I am. I have a 6-year-old now and a 2-year-old. I want to kill them for different reasons. So I can say that now. I can joke about it. It's not really a jokey thing. It is very serious, but not enough people do talk about it. And I spend my life going around trying to talk to as many people as humanly possible to make them aware of what the condition is.
Yeah. And thank you for doing that, because honestly, I've known you for a number of years. I've watched your progression. I don't think that you talked about it right at the beginning. And I remember when you did start talking about it, and I could almost see people's faces in networking events, in situations where they go, oh, I don't know that I want to know about this, or what.
Yeah.
Feel like a conversation that's right for this environment. But actually, when you are your business and you are your brand, and this is how you got to here, I think it's an incredibly important part of your journey. But bigger than that, it's an incredibly important conversation to open up for other people to go, that's how I feel, and I didn't know that there was something out there that I could get help with.
Yeah, I was on the BBC talking about it, on BBC News a couple of weeks ago, and I had about 70 messages from people I didn't know saying, thank you for sharing. I think I had that, or I think I'm going through that. I need to get some help. Who do I go to? So I know that it helped people telling my story, and that makes me incredibly proud, and kind of empowered as well.
Yeah. Maddy, you had that with your first child. Did you have it with your second child?
No, very luckily, no. I had postnatal depression, and I got really, really low. But my recipe for that was taking her with me everywhere I went. So, I wanted to power through and let female entrepreneurs know that they don't have to take maternity leave. They don't have to stop their business just because they have kids. She came to networking meetings with me. She came to public speaking events, trade shows. I breastfed her in corporate meetings. Obviously, I asked permission before bringing her. It wasn't just hey, look at me and my baby. But I wanted to pave the way for women in business, because we're not just stay-at-home mums. Not all of us. Some of us, it doesn't fit with what we want to do, and there was no way that I was stopping when I was on a roll. So Harry was probably the most networked business baby in Hampshire at that time.
Well, I remember, because you came out to our networking events, and I think that Harriet was about 3-5 days old. It wasn't long before you thought, nah, I'm done.
Very small.
And it was great fun to see you out and about, but also to make sure, I guess, that at that point that you were around people that
I needed to be.
Yeah, that could have your best interests at heart and help you. You had a lot of support around you at that stage.
I did. Networking has been an amazing thing for my business. And people often say to me, oh, Maddy knows everybody. If you need to know somebody, it's Maddy you go to, because she's the connector of people. And I love it. the whole business stems around me helping other business owners to connect with each other, helping them to get visible. And if that came with a baby, actually, I think sometimes she was a blessing, because it was a really good conversation starter.
Yes, definitely. So tell us about the discount card. How did it start and where is it now?
Okay, so we started off as My VIP card in December 2017 with 80 discounts, and they were all for local independent Southampton retailers. We then started to grow, and we then spread across Hampshire. We then went to Wiltshire. We then went to Dorset. We then we added in loads of national rewards, so like supermarkets, cinemas, theme parks, gyms, all of those kind of things. And over the years, we have just grown and grown. Throughout lockdown, I had a business that didn't actually work. Our product was completely null and void because people couldn't use it. So I had to grow it somehow. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this national, and I'm going to go and I'm going to support local across the UK so that people can use their app throughout the whole of the UK and beyond now as well. So we're now not just a discount card. We are a money saving app that offers rewards, vouchers and cashback. And we help people to save with over 5,500 discounts. So it's grown quite a bit. We still offer free advertising. We've still kept to our roots. We don't charge people unless they want to pay us extra for extra things. But it's still a very, very much local focused saving card. And we're now growing through the employee benefits market, which I'm absolutely loving because it's what my background is. So
God, it's incredible how your background comes back around, isn't it, and gives you opportunities. And when you talk about this, it's 3 years that you've achieved this. Yeah,
it's not. We're coming up to 4, but it's insane. I'm also launching my second business as well, parenthood app, in the next couple of months, which I'm apparently crazy, but crazy Daisy.
We've all got to have it in us. We do.
Yeah.
It's utterly it's incredible to have watched your meteoric rise, and when you compare that with when you add in the fact that you had this postpartum psychosis and you've had 2 children in that time, it is just an incredible feat that you've achieved.
Thank you. I'm very proud. I am really proud, and I'm trying to inspire others now to know that they've got it in them. It can be really tough.
Yeah. What's one lesson that you've learned that you would want every entrepreneur to know?
Grow a thick skin. Get resilient. If I wasn't resilient, I could have given up thousands of times by now. I have had horrific times where I've had £5 in the bank and thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I've had attacks from competitors. I've always got a really, really big open kind of heart when it comes to competitors. I'm always about collaborating over competing, but that's led me to be screwed over a couple of times. And I've been let down by investors. I've been let down by people who are supposed to work for me. Resilience is the key thing to starting a business and growing it, because if you're not resilient, you won't grow. And just do one thing every single day to push your business forward.
Oh, I like that. Excellent. And what's your favorite piece of business software?
Well, not really a software, more of a platform, but I love LinkedIn. I feel that it is an amazing space to share my story openly. I'm trying to change the face of it a little bit and make it less than a boring, stuffy work platform, because I am less than boring and stuffy. I just want to be me, go out authentically, and I hate that word, but I just want to be me and go and connect with people who want to buy my product. And I think LinkedIn is a really, really great place for that. And I've made so many connections and met so many awesome people.
That's really good to hear, because I think people forget about LinkedIn for small businesses. But you're right. It is the changing face of how you want to be seen as much as anything else. So if your platform is LinkedIn, still be you. Don't try and fit what you think their mold of business is.
No, I absolutely love it. I do like Canva as well, though.
Yes, everybody does.
Everybody else, it's because it's blooming awesome. But yeah, Canva's good. I've got so many things that I love about business, so many tools.
Yeah. Maddy, this has been so interesting and open-hearted, and I appreciate that from you. And I wish you the meteoric rise to keep going forever, because you're doing a brilliant job. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for watching the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. If you've liked what you've seen today, then please make sure that you click the subscribe button to this channel to see more inspiration and motivation as more of these stories keep coming out. And if you want even more, click on the link below this video and go and have a look at the series of books Shine On You Crazy Daisy and get even more inspiration and motivation for you and your business.